Welcome to another edition of Church Media Design TV tips, tricks, and how-to for you, the church media designer. Well, tonight judging the show are a few of my friends that are less drunk than Paula Abdul, more ghetto than Randy Jackson, and have better teeth than Simon Cowell. You got it right, it's the three wise men and Jesus. Well, today we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things that pertain to audio, from copyright law to great places to find cheap audio to free song downloads and a few other things along the way. So if the three wise men and Jesus are ready, let's get into it. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about audio and using audio with video, because most of you guys can get great video or photography. You can grab a camera for pretty cheap and start shooting video of people at your church or different events and that kind of stuff. But then it comes down to making that video, and usually you need to find great audio to put to that. And then some questions arise. What audio can I use? What audio can I use? We have this CCLI license that says we can play music in church. Does that cover my video? What does that really cover? So I wanted to cover what our real answers are for all of these subjects. So I talked to a good friend of mine, Neil, who has worked in the broadcast industry for many years, worked for MTV, and knows his stuff about this. And I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that I'm the patron saint of using audio and following copyright law and all of that kind of stuff. I'm as guilty as the rest of you, but I'm trying to move in the right direction towards using audio and using video and using images and following copyright law so that the owners of these images, the people who put in the time and energy to make this stuff, get what they deserve, because people put in a lot of time to produce a lot of this stuff. So when it comes to audio, a lot of you guys will immediately go to fair use and say, hey, there's this fair use law that says, well, I can follow under parody, or this is news or a commentary, or there's religious and nonprofit under there. And you could say that you fall under that, but that's not the truth. The truth of the matter is, if you take any copywritten audio or video and sync it up with audio or video that you made, so let's say you shoot video and then you take the newest David Crowder song and you sync up that David Crowder song with the video you shot, you now have a mechanical license for this audio and video. And that mechanical license is now a new product that you have to get copyright permission to use. And so it is illegal for you to use that audio with that video. And like I said before, I am not a saint when it comes to this, and I'm trying to move in the right direction. But you do need to know that. The same goes the other way. If you take video from a movie, you take Indiana Jones that's coming out this summer, and you sync up your own audio or do voiceover on top of it, or you put somebody in that movie, that is against the law, and you cannot do that. And I think a lot of churches don't really understand where they fall in these parameters. And so I wanted to make sure you guys understood that you can't be syncing these things back and forth. As well as you might be saying, well, what can I do? Well, there's a great resource. It's called the CVLI, and it's by the people who came up with the CCLI, and it's your church video license. And under there, there's very great rules and guidelines. And if you head over to their website, cvli.com, you can go here and you can go about CVLI, and it says what you can do, what you can't do, and then you can read the terms here. And under the terms, it's a lot of legal knowledge, but it'll tell you exactly what you can and can't do. But in the long run, if you didn't make the music and you're putting it to your video, it's probably illegal if you don't have permission from the original owner. Now, I'm very lucky here at my church. I have a guy who writes a lot of music, Nick Jones. He wrote the theme song for the show, and I get to use a lot of his music for a lot of videos that we do at the church. And I also wanted to talk about a few of the different areas that you can go to get cheap, free, or royalty-free music. And what royalty-free music or images means, somebody created this and now you can use it for whatever you want. Now, there is like a certain gamut of what you can and can't do. You can't use it for pornography. You can't use it for death type stuff. There's, some of those kind of things, but hopefully you guys aren't going to be using that in your church anyway. So one of the first places to check out is pumpaudio.com. Now, this is from the guys who run Getty Images, which is one of the longest running high-quality image sites on the web. And Pump Audio, you can go in here, and unfortunately, they don't have a license that falls under for religious, but try find the license that that fits you the most, like that you're doing a large venue or look for your venue size, and you can get awesome, great audio from Pump Audio. And I've used their stuff for a convention that I did, and I found some really great stuff. You can search by genre, how fast you want it, and you can find stuff with lyrics, without lyrics. So this is a great place to start for audio. It is a little bit more expensive, like $50 a song, something like that. And I know that's probably out of a lot of your price ranges, but if you're looking for something that's like theme music for you for your year or for your podcast and you want something good, check out Pump Audio. Now, if you want something a little bit cheaper, head over to stock20.com. Now, Stock20 is run by a guy actually here in Michigan, and it started out as a stock audio site that he was running and recording all of the parts, and he made a little studio and was doing it all in Pro Tools, and it was pretty good. The songs had a little bit of they weren't super professional in the very beginning, but now the stuff's sounding really, really great. So you can see here, if I preview this Pound song, if we hit preview, it's going to pop up a window, and it's going to show us actually, what do we have, 17 different versions here. And there's 17 different versions of this song. And the cool thing is you can go through, and I haven't actually read their license on this, but what I've done is I've gone through and I've made my version of this song that works best for me. But usually you should be able, out of these 17 versions, to find a run through of the song that you like. And they come in all different lengths, and it gives you a really great option with what you're working with. And so you can say, well, I want it to be, verse, progression, chorus, or I want just like an intro and then a rocking out chorus and then done. And none of this has lyrics. This is all meant for video. And the great part is it's very cheap. It's $20 a song, and you're getting a lot of different versions. Actually, if you got in on the ground floor, I think you get it for like $9 a song if you would have signed up like a year or two ago. So if you've already found Stock 20, then you're really lucky. But you can get entire libraries for a lot cheaper. And Stock 20 is a great site to check out and support Daniel and his website because they're putting out some great stuff for you in the church that's very inexpensive. The last place to go, if you have Pro Tools or you have different audio programs where you're going to mix tracks together, check out sampleswap.org. SampleSwap is totally royalty free, and they actually say in their thing, we require that none of the music is copywritten, but we have no way of telling, so be careful and use your best judgment. But basically you can download anything you want from the site and use it, and some of it's just like a drum loop, some of it's individual drum sounds or individual guitar sounds, and some of them are full tracks, and all of this is completely free. So if you need like little random things or different voices, and actually Nick used a lot of stuff from SampleSwap for some of his earlier tracks when he was recording. So SampleSwap has got a lot of great options for you. So there's a couple different websites from, high-end, more expensive, which, by the way, Pump Audio is what MTV, Comedy Central, Revision 3, if you've ever heard of them. All of these different big networks are using for their background audio for their different shows. So they have a lot of great quality stuff that the major industry is using. But those are some great, from the high to the low end, sources of audio that you can use. And just remember, if you haven't gotten permission and you know that somebody created it and is selling it, you can't use it without permission and most likely without paying for it. So let's have some standards in the church, and I'm going to be the first one to start trying to do this and really push through. But let's start having some standards in the church and really care about the people who originally created this content and not be ripping people off, because in the end, we want to be good stewards of what we have, and we want to treat people with respect about what they've done and what they've created. So check out these different websites and know your fair use, and go to CVLI and learn what you can and can't do in your church. So now we're going to move on to a tip, but before we do that, let's see what the judges have to say. Judges? Good answer. I'm retarded. So our tip today is something that's come through on Phil, Google Reader. His name is Phil. He's told me about this about 25 times. There's this awesome book, and I say awesome because I haven't looked at it yet, but I figure it would be a great resource to pass along to you. It's a free Photoshop book. It's called Our Sensational Photoshop Book is now free to download. That's not really the title of the book, but that's what their title of their post says. But you can head over to, you'll see the website down here and on the website. It's at SitePoint. But they have a free Photoshop book, and it expires in 23 days and 6 hours from when we tape, so minus about 5 days from that. And it's a 278-page book about Photoshop and like great tips and real-world Photoshop solutions that will add an impact to your next web design project. So check out my cheesy intro for that great book, the Photoshop anthology. It's a free download, so go check it out. There's no reason not to get it, and it will help you in your Photoshop quest of knowledge and understanding. Today you'll see that it's sunny in the northeast, and there's a large cloud formation coming down from Canada with a cold front. Well, today's trick is a Firefox trick, and I've been talking about a few different add-ons and plugins for Firefox, like Fire FTP and AdBlock Plus that we talked about last week, but I wanted to talk about a couple simple ways that are already good to go with the browser when you start using it that I use on a daily basis to make Firefox better for me. One of the first things that I do is I add a tab button to up here by my forward and back and home button, and it's easy to do that. If it's not there, you can just right click and do customize, and you'll see all the different buttons that you can add in. So you can add separators and a bookmark button, copy and paste, new window if you wanted to, and then you can actually grab that new tab button. So that's an easy, nice one to grab new tabs real quick. So if you head over into your browser and just do a search for, Church Media Design, and if you, man, my Google rankings aren't very good. Hopefully people found me through something else, because my Google listings need to have some work on them. But if you center click on the link for Church Media Design TV with your scroll wheel, it'll actually open Church Media Design up in a new tab. Anything you click on with your scroll wheel automatically opens in a new tab. So that's a easy one, as well as the last one. Let's say I accidentally click out and close my browser. I just lost all my tabs, and it didn't ask me, holy crap, you closed your browser, and what are you going to do? Well, if I go back into Firefox and open it up again, actually all of these tabs are going to reopen themselves up, because I have this nice little setting. Instead of having Firefox start with my home page, I'm going to go up to Tools and down to Options, and then I'm going to go to the Main tab, and right here it says Start Up. When Firefox starts, you can do Show Windows and Tabs from the last time instead of Show My Home Page or Show a Blank Page. So if I have that, now if I accidentally close it, or I got a bunch of stuff open one day and I want to work on that stuff tomorrow, I can close out Firefox and not worry about losing everything. And to me, that's been one of the most valuable things that you can have. Now, when you get used to it, and then you open up two different windows of Firefox, and you close the window that has only one tab open, and then you reopen Firefox, that one tab is the only thing open. It forgets about that other window with your 15 tabs. So don't get too comfortable, because it can be a big pain in the butt, and you'll get kind of angry because you just missed a bunch of websites you never bookmarked. So check out Firefox, open source, Mac, PC, and Linux, and set some of these things. Start using some of the power features in here, and we'll continue to show you a bunch of cool add-ons for Firefox that will make your design experience a whole lot better. Well, this week's freebie is a bunch of free music on our music kick, and we're going to give you 50 free song downloads, and they're going to come to you from eMusic. Now, eMusic is one of those competitor sites for iTunes, and they're trying to get you to leave their site to come to eMusic, and it says songs at just 33 cents or less after your free trial. But with your free trial, you get 50 free downloads. So head over to eMusic, get your 50 free downloads, and then leave them before the trial runs up, or else they'll force you into some kind of contract like Blockbuster did to me, and I had to pay them $18 because I signed up for my free month, and then it continued because I didn't catch it in time. So the moral of the story, kids, is be careful with free trials, because Blockbuster is going to steal your money. Well, today's inspiration is Method Studios. You can find them at methodstudios.com, and Method is another one of those great video design companies, like we've talked about before in the past with Shiloh, but Method does a lot of 3D CG work, where they composite 3D stuff with regular cinematography and film and that kind of stuff. And they do really, really great work. And I would encourage you guys to check out this work. It's Spy vs. Spy Mountain Dew. It's really old. It's from 2004. But I think it's a really cool piece that has some great work in it. It's really funny and in this retro styling, which I really like older styled stuff if you haven't noticed. But the Spy vs. Spy is a really good spot, as well as there's a ton of other stuff. You'll be really surprised how much work from the Super Bowl, how much work you see on daily commercials in and out that are from Method Studios. So even if this project isn't something that you can do because you don't do 3D animation and you don't have that high-end capability, you can still think and dream about this kind of work. And I like to do that with my projects where I like get this crazy idea. Let's do dolly shots and composite backgrounds in, and then along the way, it doesn't really happen, but where I usually end up with a project is someplace way cooler if I wouldn't have dreamed that big. So dream big and maybe end up a little bit smaller, but you'll probably end up with a cooler product than what you would have if you wouldn't have dreamed big. So let Method help you dream big. Well, we want to thank our sponsor of WorshipHouseMedia.com, resources for the creative church. And if you want to head over to their website and check out a bunch of great media and use our promo code, please, please, please head over there and use our promo code of CMDTV1 and you'll get 25% off your purchase of anything at Worship House Media. So you can go buy worship presentation software, you can go buy videos, still backgrounds, whole bunch of stuff. And I'm pretty sure it works on sale items in the whole 9 yards. So head over to WorshipHouseMedia.com, find some great resources for your church. Well, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Church Media Design TV. As you can tell, I got some t-shirts here, and I'm actually going to be away, and we're going to be doing some little mini episodes, hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be traveling out to Las Vegas for my brother's wedding, and then out to California, and I'm going to be getting a lot of great footage, and hopefully doing some interviews along the way. So I'll be out there, and I won't be able to tape the show for the next couple weeks. But Worship House sent over some great free t-shirts, and I want to give them away to you. So we're going to be playing a game with my little friend here, little Whitey, and we're going to be playing Where's Whitey? And I'm going to have video footage of Whitey out in locations out west, and you're going to need to tell me, submit a comment on the page, and I'm going to randomly select one of those comments and send you guys one of these free t-shirts. And I'll even kick in the shipping charge so that you don't have to pay anything. So head over to the website and check those out in the next couple of weeks. But it will be about 2 weeks until we'll be back. And we're going to be back in full force. It's going to give me some time to get some great shows lined up for you guys so that we can continue creating these shows so we can help you create distraction-free worship environments and so you can get a better grasp of how to use media in your church. So grab a t-shirt. Also, head over to the website. Check out, leave a comment on this episode, send me an email, Brad@ChurchMediaDesign.tv. Check out Skype and AIM, send me messages on there. Head over to creativemyk/ChurchMediaDesign, and you can check out my profile there. I've uploaded a new graphic that I did for Watermark Church here, as well as head over to Church Relevance and check out the top 85 church websites, and we just got added, Watermark Church, our IamMark.com site just got added there. So head over and check out IamMark.com and Church Relevance and leave a comment on there of how sweet you think it is and that kind of stuff. It's really great that we got listed on there. We're right next to Willow Creek, which is crazy because our church is tiny and Willow really isn't that tiny. So check out Church Relevance. It's really great that they posted us on there. But keep in touch with the show. Keep sending me questions and show ideas, things you want to learn. Let me know if you liked this copyright idea. I'd love to talk about this with video and images and give you guys a better understanding of where you stand in the church with copyright infringement and some of the law so that you guys aren't creating stuff that you someday could be sued by or is questionable. So, thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode of Church Media Design TV. I'm Brad Zimmerman. This is the Three Wise Men in Jesus, and we're saying, see you later. Flavor Flav!
Yeah, boy!
Yeah, boy!
Wow!
Wow! Flavor Flav. Church Media Design TV. What kind of cheese is nacho cheese?
Wow, that was the best delivery ever. What kind of cheese is nacho cheese?
Nacho cheese, man! Nacho cheese!